So much going on down there.
Whenever you're ready.
All right, get ready, Vin. Fire it up.
Yep.
All right, good evening, everybody. We're going to call the meeting of November 10th, 2021 to order. Vin, can we have the roll call, please?
Sure. Deputy Mayor Napolitani.
Here.
Council members Achara. Donlin.
Here.
Fisher.
Here.
And Mayor Siciliano.
Here, everybody please rise for a pledge of allegiance and then please remain standing for a moment of silent prayer thereafter. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, thank you. The notice requirement for the Open Public Meeting Act for this meeting has been satisfied. A copy of the annual notice was sent to the Asbury Park Press Coaster, posted in Town Hall, and filed in the office of the municipal clerk on December 30, 2020. There are two exits, one to my left, which will take you out to the back parking lot, and one to my right, which will take you out to the front parking lot. If you have a cell phone, we ask that you kindly turn it off. Ambient noise interferes with our recording of the meeting. If you have to take a call, please go out into the hallway, close the doors, and you can have your chat out there. Before we get started with our regular business, I just want to make a mention, tomorrow, of course, is our Veterans Day ceremony we have here annually. It's 11 o'clock a.m. sharp. It's a great time, and we are honored to honor our veterans. We have a very nice program, including a brass band, and we hope to see everybody there. Our friends at Jersey Mike's has even offered to donate some turkey subs for tomorrow for the guys and gals, so we're very honored about that. I'm going to go right on down the line and ask the council members if they have a report. John, you have anything?
No report, Mayor.
Great. Marge?
No report.
Oh, Dave?
I just want to remind the public on December 13th.
Thank you. No, I'm kidding.
The planning board is having their special meeting to discuss the revision of the master plan. It's the last chance for the public to comment on this revision, so it's also going to be on the Zoom, so that's your last chance there. And I also wanted to mention that the Community Hope Fund is looking for donations for the Thanksgiving food drive. It's a great opportunity to give back to the community. Donations can be dropped off at social services, and I strongly encourage everybody to get involved in that. Thanks.
Thank you. Dave?
Mayor, I just want to salute all the veterans.
Great, thank you. Marty?
I agree with Dave.
Okay. All right, the purpose of the public portion is to solely ask questions, understand resolutions that appear on this agenda, not an occasion for a public hearing, not an ordinance. All questions not related to an item on the agenda should be asked during the public comments portion at the conclusion of the meeting. In the meantime, if anybody has had any questions regarding the consent agenda and resolutions and/or vouchers that appear on the agenda tonight, now would be the time to come up to the microphone and state your name and address for the record. Again, on general comment and/or on ordinances, we'll do that at the conclusion of the meeting. Okay, anybody have anything on the consent agenda? Oh, seeing or hearing nobody, somebody please offer the minutes. October 28th, 2021.
I'll offer.
Second.
I'll second.
Deputy Mayor Napolitani.
Yes.
Council members Donlin.
Yes.
Fisher.
Yes.
And Mayor Siciliano.
Yes, tonight we have resolutions 21-10 through 21-18. Someone please offer.
I'll offer.
Second.
Second.
Deputy Mayor Napolitani.
Yes.
Council members Donlin.
Yes.
Fisher.
Yes.
And Mayor Siciliano.
Yes, and also we have vouchers in the amount of $2,517,154.52. Someone please offer.
I'll offer.
Second.
Second.
Deputy Mayor Napolitani.
Yes.
Council members Donlin.
Yes.
Fisher.
Yes.
And Mayor Siciliano.
Yes, for individual action, we have resolution 21-214 to authorize the tax collector to cancel 2021 taxes and refund credit any tax overpayments due to a favorable state tax appeal judgment. Someone please offer.
I'll offer.
Second.
Second.
Deputy Mayor Napolitani.
Yes.
Council members Donlin.
Yes.
Fisher.
Yes.
And Mayor Siciliano.
Yes, and 21-215, authorize the awarding of the title for various vehicles to Brothers Towing in lieu of towing and storage charges. Someone please offer.
I'll offer.
Second.
Second.
Deputy Mayor Napolitani.
Yes.
Council members Donlin.
Yes.
Fisher.
Yes.
And Mayor Siciliano.
Yes, and 21-216, approve the private sale of a portion of the following parcels of a township-owned land known as Block 33, Lot 33, Belmore Street, to Noden and Diane Schneider at a fee of $16,000. This parcel is a wetlands piece. They're just really buying a piece to increase their lot size, so they don't have to go for a variance should they want to put on an addition, porch, the normal stuff that people like to do to their homes and make improvements to beautify the neighborhood. Someone please offer.
I'll offer.
Second.
Second.
Deputy Mayor Napolitani.
Yes.
Council members Donlin,
Yes.
Fisher,
Yes.
and Mayor Siciliano.
Yes. And 21-217, authorize a transfer of funds in accordance with NJSA 40A:4-58 and NJSA 48:4-45-4A. Someone please offer.
I'll offer.
Second.
Second.
Deputy Mayor Napolitani.
Yes.
Council members Donlin,
Yes.
Fisher,
Yes.
and Mayor Siciliano.
Yes, tonight for adoption, we have ordinance 2372. Vin, would you read the title, please?
An ordinance amending ordinance 2360, entitled an ordinance fixing salaries and compensation for certain officers, employees, and positions.
Great. Someone please open the public hearing on ordinance 2372. Dave?
Oh, okay. I'd like to open the public hearing on ordinance 2372.
Second.
I'll second.
Deputy Mayor Napolitani.
Yes.
Council members Donlin,
Yes.
Fisher,
Yes.
and Mayor Siciliano.
Yes, anybody wishing to be heard on ordinance 2372, come up to the microphone, state your name and address for the record. Seeing or hearing no one, someone please close the public hearing on 2372.
I'd like to make a motion to close the hearing on ordinance 2372.
Second.
Second.
Deputy Mayor Napolitani.
Yes.
Council members Donlin,
Yes.
Fisher,
Yes.
and Mayor Siciliano.
Yes, action please on ordinance 2372.
Yeah, I'd like to move to adopt ordinance 2372 and publish according to law.
Great, second.
Second.
Deputy Mayor Napolitani.
Yes.
Council members Donlin,
Yes.
Fisher,
Yes.
and Mayor Siciliano.
Yes, that ordinance has been moved for introduction only. Tonight we have ordinance 2373. Vin, would you read the title?
Sure. An ordinance amending and supplementing Chapter 21 of the Comprehensive Land Development Ordinance to incorporate the Green Development Checklist.
Great. Someone please introduce ordinance 2373.
Yeah, I'd like to move to introduce ordinance number 2373.
Second.
I'll second.
Deputy Mayor Napolitani.
Yes.
Council members Donlin,
Yes.
Fisher,
Yes.
and Mayor Siciliano.
Yes, another step towards a green council. That'll have its public hearing on 12/9. At this time, we invite anybody from the public to come up to the microphone and state your name and address for the record. If you have anything germane or business with Ocean Township.
Hi.
Hi.
Yeah, no, I was just wondering if you could go into some detail on 2373
it's
this
po-
evening.
You know what, just state your name and address, even though
Yep.
we know who you are.
Jackie Wenzel, Youngquist, 610 Deal Road.
So if you want to go ahead, Margie, it's a
Sure,
part of
so-
our green initiative checklist, but go ahead, Marge.
Yeah, so it's basically a checklist that we are giving to all the developers who come for permitting, to ask them if they've thought about different green initiatives to incorporate in their building plan. It's not a requirement, but it's something that everyone's gonna have to get and check off that they've received it and read through it.
Is it possible to make it a requirement?
Not at this point.
Is that just that we won't do it here, or is it a New Jersey law that we can't?
I think it would be challenging to legally make it a requirement at this point. But hopefully it'll open up people to think about using different green development initiatives.
Invoke thought and ideas. and
Well, it seems like they spoke so much about it during these most current elections. Seems in the forefront of the news, even internationally, globally. So I would think that it wouldn't be unusual maybe to set up some barriers in terms of the amount of trees that could be removed if it is a wooded area, things such as that. Is it,
I just don't think it's legally feasible to require some of these things at this point.
It
I don't,
all is gonna depend on what kind of project you're talking about, and there may be some items that you could propose, but not the vast number that are proposed.
so is it, we don't know if it's law, but we're assuming, is there a way to find out
find out if
if it is a law, or if it's something that we could be a little bit more known as a green
Well,
township?
here's the thing, I mean, ordinances are town laws, you know that. I mean, we can actually incorporate anything into an ordinance and require it, but we're not gonna do that this time. This is our prelude to maybe getting there eventually. It's a good step in the right direction to have green thought and at least evoke the thought, like we said, on all these developers when they come in. And a lot of them, you know, they embrace the idea. They wanna look for other ways to be different or to be more friendly environmentally, so I think that's on the forefront anyway. So we're gonna go with this for now and see how it goes, and then we'll take a look at it again and see where we go from there.
It just seems like internally, there's a lot of concern. You know, we have now a new team, which Margie's on, the green team, and it reports to the Environmental Commission and the Shade Tree Commission. But when I attend those meetings, there's a lot of unanswered questions. For example, I've asked, do they know yet how many healthy trees have been taken down from the property on Deal and 35? In terms of what type of money is now in the Shade Tree Commission, I understand trees that were healthy, living trees that were taken for the development, they have a fee. How much is it per tree? Like, is it $350 per tree? No one in either council, environmental nor Shade, had a number yet. They said to ask Ron Kirk. So I spoke to Ron Kirk this week. He didn't have a number yet, and I asked, could he have that for this meeting? But I don't know. I thought maybe he'd be here today.
No.
So do you have a number, Mayor? Do you have any idea?
Of how many trees have been taken down?
Yeah, how much money is been now allotted to the Shade Tree Commission for
well,
replanting?
Yeah, that we have an accountant of that. I mean, we've had a substantial amount in there, and I know they've made payments to it, so we can get a total number.
But that amount was actually in the resolution.
Yeah.
We've gone through this before, but there's an amount there.
It's substantial.
And every time we do this.
That was in what resolution?
It's in the resolution of approval for that project as to how much they would have to contribute to the Shade 400.
Yeah, but they didn't have a solid number on what was dead, dying, or disease.
How much they were contributing. We've gone through this before, but there is a number.
But you don't know the number.
It was in excess.
Sitting here now.
In excess.
Well,
of
no,
a
it sounds
quarter.
like it was a repetitive situation, so I would think you might know the number.
We haven't seen you in a while, but it's been a repetitive, it was a thing that we discussed several times, probably 6 months ago. Unfortunately, I'm old enough that I don't remember 6 months ago, but we did go through the numbers.
Okay, so maybe we could have it for the next meeting to
Have it
talk about it a
tomorrow,
little bit.
Nicole.
I guess because one of the ideas that were introduced in the green team meeting, the possibility of, since there is limited open space now, you know, mostly everything's getting developed, all the trees have come down, and we do, as I think, as a responsibility to our global warming situation, replant. We should start to do that, since there is a kitty of money.
Yep.
So one of the thoughts I had was, a lot of things have come down in storms, and I know you had a tree fell on your house at one time. So, I mean, a lot of people would like to do some improvements on their property, on their landscaping. I had 2 trees over the years that we've been here we had to take down because one had a rot in the trunk. But if there's this kitty, and a lot of people these days, not 2 people, what may have been a 2-income family now might be a 1-income family because of COVID, a lot of things have changed. So I thought it might be a nice thing for the township to offer to our tax-paying residents, that there is this kitty, and perhaps the Shade Tree Committee, the commission that has the Shade Tree Fund, could write a gift certificate to people if they'd like to plant a tree within their yard, since there's really, I don't know where else we would put the trees at this time. Is there open space that you could think of, Mayor, off the top of your head?
Well, like again, sometimes situations come up without specifically saying any property. There was a property owners that are nearby a piece that had the trees taken down, and they're concerned about stabilizing their own property, so they would be eligible for such a certificate, like, hey, we know your neighbor's taking trees down and you enjoyed the woods, we'd like to give you something from the Shade Tree Fund. So, no, that thought's out there. I've been waiting for someone, Shade Tree, whomever, to give us a plan, but there really isn't a place to say, dump off $380,000 worth of planting, so we could do that, give it back to the community. I'd have no problem if people submitted you know, some kind of a plan with something reasonable. No, we're not gonna populate somebody's yard entirely, but it could be something that, you know, if they wanna put something nice on everybody on this block or the street, whatever, and it makes sense, we'll look at it.
Yeah, I mean,
Submit
especially.
your request and we'll take a look at it.
I mean, because evergreen trees, I know there's a lot of talk about different things not being able to grow because of the deer. But evergreen trees, the deer they leave them alone. I mean, I would be interested in, if we can get this gift certificate for trees going, I would put a couple more evergreens in my yard. You know, it's nice, it kind of creates some privacy from your neighbors, and will absorb the water. And
I'd put a bunch of Leland spruce in the back of my yard, but I don't wanna burden the town with that, but I need about 35 of them, look really nice.
No, but it sounds like this is money that we're getting from the developers, right? It's not coming out of
Yeah.
your budget,
No.
it's money that,
No, but you don't wanna spend it all in one place, but we can,
Yeah, it would be a question of how to fairly distribute it. Would it be an income, maybe somebody has the land but not the income to do that. We'll have to discuss that at our next meeting.
so could we maybe, Margie, since you're on the green team, and, because when I followed up with the Shade Tree and the Environmental Commission, they really were out of touch with what was going on with how much money was in the fund. I would think
The Shade Tree should know that information.
they didn't. They told me to ask Ron Kirk. So I think,
hundreds of thousands.
Yeah.
yeah, so, I mean, maybe, who would be responsible to create a plan like that then? That we could really start to seriously be known for a community that's giving back, we're giving trees back, or,
Shade
because,
Tree / Environmental Commission can make a recommendation to the council, this is what we'd like to put in place. And, absolutely, we'd look at it, and if it was sensible, and you can control, so you were not totally, supplanted somebody's total property, we don't wanna give one person $35,000 worth of plantings, that's not the purview of the council, but to make it an incentive for folks to continue to plant, submit a plan to us or to the Shade Tree or the Environmental Commission. We'll look at it and, hey,
submit a plan in terms of what would be a reasonable amount of trees to offer each resident if they were interested.
yeah, a dollar amount or a tree amount, whatever. Each property may be different, of course.
Right, no, well, because a lot of new people moving in are removing more trees. So they're clearly not going to request money for a tree.
They may, you'd be surprised. They're the ones that want the nice Leland spruce now that they took all the trees out. They want landscaping. It's not what we're looking to do.
No,
We're not
no,
looking to
not
landscape.
landscape, right, so you're not gonna pay for a landscaper, but you could purchase a tree.
Yeah.
And have
We can
the
do that.
tree, maybe purchasing the tree and having that tree planted. Cause that's where a lot of the money, I guess, does come in, but no, not landscaping, of course, there would be a difference clearly for that. So should we pick this up at the next meeting, so there's some sense of movement on it?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
Okay. Anybody else? You guys are here for some reason. Come on up. Say hello.
Hello.
Just state your name and address.
My name is Brandon Stevens. I live at 490 West Lincoln Ave. I saw that the water company was going to be doing road work and water main repairs on Belmar. And the last time they came through, they destroyed Belmar. So I was just wondering if is there someone out there that inspects their patching job, etc.?
Yes. Yes, good, Brandon. Good question, because in the past, they would come through with reckless abandonment, tear up the street, put their lines in and leave. But now we have, where they have to at least go curb to curb, depends on the situation with the repaving, or at least half the road, whatever they're tearing up with a solid heat patch that's more than like 3 feet wide, the full half the distance. So, we have our town engineers, we're aware of all road openings, and then we inspect and we let them know what the requirements are. But, our manager can look into that project and see just what we have in store for them and what their plan was, and then what the follow-up patchwork's supposed to look like when it's done.
Sounds good.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you. But great question. Anybody else? Just come on up so we don't.
Does that pertain to Roosevelt too?
Just
False.
give us your name and address.
William Watts, Oberon Boulevard?
Yeah, all streets, William. Anything, any road opening.
Because they tore that section of Oakers up there pretty good. I always thought they were responsible for that, like they did on Monmouth Road, which is the county.
Yeah.
The county told me that's why Monmouth got repaved like that, because once the work is finished, that was their obligation, because Coggy did that work, they would come in and repave that.
Right.
Okay. And I thought that should pertain to Roosevelt, and I don't know if they say we're working on it's gonna be done later on or something like that.
Well, there's some sewer follow-up work to be done too. I think they're not done over there.
Yeah, they're doing more work over there.
Yeah.
But is that gonna be covered by Cog or whoever did the work?
Yep.
So it's not gonna be on the township then?
No, not on us at all. It's on the contractor.
Yeah, cause even West Lincoln's terrible, and a section of that too, I don't know if that's been tore up too. There's a bunch of sections over there that are all messed up.
Yep.
Okay, now I had another question. I know this is a controversy of being an employee. I'm a crossing guard in town, okay? Part-time crossing guard, only get salary, it's all I get, nothing else from the township. I have brought the attention, because I'm over on the wayside. That's a 45-mile-an-hour zone. There is actually installed lighting system over there, obtained years ago by the township. I put that on all the time. And I brought this to the attention of the police department several times. People do not obey that lighting system over there. It's under state law. It's under Title 39 of the law of the speed, and we're supposed to be obtained over that area at all times. I brought it to their attention, I don't know how many times. Parents have actually called. So I told several parents, I'm going to come here today and I'm going to bring it up. Because, unfortunately, people are even still going 45. And by state law, you're supposed to pay a 25, especially an inside symbol like that. And you're supposed to reduce your speed to 25. And it doesn't just pertain to when kids come and go from school. When they're on recess, when they're present near the road or any of that. And we all know that's an elementary school over there. So if you got a so-called high vehicle, you're not going to see a small child. Period. Okay? And maybe I took it upon myself to bring this to the Township Town Council. It's on me. Okay? To me, it's just a part-time job. So I went to the Town Council. I'm tired of the English. They want to call you Dumby and everything when you be, they ignore it, in my opinion. Okay? And I'm not stupid. I did ordnance and weapons for the Department of Navy. I've been there, done that. Okay? So when I have consideration for the kids in this township, I think that should be looked into.
Okay. Well, we have our manager listening here.
And I like I say, parents told me they call. They act like nobody calls. And then I said to myself, well, I'll put my foot in the fire. I'm going to go over here and say something myself.
Good. I'm glad you did.
Because like I try to say, I have people, parents tell you, you're standing there. You know that the way that was set up years ago is kind of weird anyway, because they got the crossing way on one side. If you know, you're familiar with the town.
Oh, yeah.
You got a big stretch there, especially when they're coming from the Tinton Falls area down.
Picking up some steam.
They're picking up some steam. I could be right there near the road, and they go flying by me like a bat you know what. And I've been driving long enough to know you ain't going 25. I try to go like this, slow down, all this kind of business. They just ignore you, or they wave at you. Oh, hi. That's elementary school.
Yeah.
And it's bad enough that the high school has a sign there, because you're supposed to go 25 at the high school too, as we all know. But that's actually an installed sign system, regulated by state law. And that's why I brought it. And like I said, I didn't know that when it was supposed to be regulated during the time. Only other suggestion I can make is I call Neptune up, for example. And I know a lot of people from out of town use that road. Even at the high school, I know there's been controversy about putting speed bumps and all this kind of crap. You go over to Neptune High School, they got speed bumps over there. They got crossing guards over there and police officers, but they got speed bumps. You go to other schools in Neptune, they got speed bumps.
Yeah.
Do we have a flashing sign there?
There is actually a
Yeah.
state
There
regulated to do that years ago. The mayor might know this.
Yeah.
When that school was built, there's a process. You just don't put that light up there, period. There is a law that states what a township's supposed to do in reference to putting that markers up there. It has to be approved.
So it's up there, it's just people are not
It's
following
there,
the
they're
rules.
not paying attention.
The people are, I can count, one time they came over, I'll give you an example. They came over, I know they didn't give out any tickets. Maybe I'm being selfish on this too. Maybe they started enforcing it. Bring revenue into town. You want to be dumb, you pay the consequences. And there is a sector that pertains to that too. It's called the subdivisions. It's called RS 39, 96 and 97. You can actually charge somebody with reckless or careless driving. And the main code for that is what they call rate of speed, which falls under a state regulation, and it's called 39:4.98, and that's the code that controls the speed in that zone. But you can also, provisions can be added to that. That's why I mentioned the fact that you can add speeding or careless driving involved with that, which falls under different sectors. And I like the Attorney General's office told me, through the library, they told me that should be enforced.
All right, well, we're gonna make sure the word gets back out to traffic.
Because I can say, I'll put my foot in the fire, it doesn't make no difference.
Yeah.
This is like $5 grand to me here.
Right. Your job's safe for telling us.
What?
Don't worry
No,
about it.
no, no, you say this to certain individuals, they either think you're a dumb A or whatever it is. No, I've been there,
No,
you
I
ain't
know.
talking to a person who's been born yesterday.
Right.
You know, and you bring it to them, it's ignored. I was actually told by a police officer, they're going to speed, they're going to speed. Okay?
Yeah, not the answer.
And it wasn't a low officer neither, let's put it that way. And they went over there, this is within 1 hour period of time. They didn't give out tickets because they came back too quick in my
Yeah.
opinion. But within an hour, they went out 4 times. They sat in front of the school, left, went after the person, came back immediately 4 times within an hour. That was one day. And that was for an hour. And I see it every day. And I'm talking as a person that actually physically sees it every day. It's notorious. And my concern is because it's the elementary school.
Yeah.
Speed bumps might be the answer.
Yeah, we'll look into that one.
You know, talk to somebody in Neptune. When you talk to them, maybe speed bumps might be the answer. Maybe the answer would be to reduce the speed on that road.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay? I
Yeah.
appreciate that.
Thank you.
Thank
for
Yeah,
your time.
no problem.
I do have a response to Jackie. I found a memo I wrote back on July 29th, 2020, where you raised at the July 2020 meeting that there were only 38 trees that the applicant said were worth saving. And at that time, I said, we've gone over this many times, and I don't remember the amount off the top of my head.
He said out of the 32 acres, there were only, okay.
I said, I don't remember the number off the top of my head, but then I went back to previous meetings. And at the March 10th, 2020 meeting, this is from the meeting, he asked about the number of trees to be removed from the property. And I'm quoting, Mr. Arbus replied, this is from the minutes, this township slated to receive $221,550 for tree removal. That's at $350 a tree and 633 trees. So we're getting paid for 633 trees at 300 and whatever per tree.
Okay, thank you, that's great.
Send that back in March 20.
Was I at that meeting? Maybe I wasn't. I was, okay.
You were the one who asked the question.
Oh.
I responded, and then you asked it again in July. So that's what I'm saying, we've been over this.
Well, I'm getting old too.
We're all over it. No one's
So
getting out.
almost $250,000 from that.
All right, so
Going into
Paramount
the kitty.
paid 600 and,
Well, 633 trees, and it was 200 and whatever I just said.
221.
I forgot if one.
only $221 for.
Thousand.
1,000.
Thousand. Almost
Okay.
$250,000.
Excellent, okay.
$550.
Okay, that's great.
Yep.
Thank you.
What?
What,
You said that.
what?
When you found out the number, you said it. It was great.
A couple months.
All right, all right, all right. It's called COVID fog.
I get it.
So I was waiting for the public portion to ask about, I was going to speak about speed, so I was happy that my neighbor got to have his time there for that. I see that on Logan, was Logan lower to 35? Because I see a sign there now that lights up, says 35, you can't go beyond that. Is
No,
that new or was it always 35?
Always 35.
So what do I have to do, Mayor? Like what type of process do we have to go through if we want to have it lowered on Deal Road from Monmouth to 35 on the area that's technically on the original master plan, the one that I was aware of? It is residentially zoned from 35 east to Monmouth.
I'm going to
So-
tell you, the process is,
Vera bumped her head, I have to.
oh, no, no.
Go.
The process is the police do a study,
Mm-hmm.
traffic does a study, and they calculate how many cars travel that road daily. And believe it or not, the more cars, the higher the speed. Because they want traffic to move.
Even though we have homes there. I mean, the thing is also, we had, I
Same
had,
with Monmouth Road, it's a county road, but they calculate it the same way.
but I read somewhere that with the bicycle plan that you're all working on, who's responsible for the bicycle plan?
Our town engineer ultimately puts it back into place.
He's the person working on it? I know, okay. So, and he's working on that at this time, presently, correct? So that for Monmouth Road to have the bike lane there, we have to lower the speed to 35.
We are actually working on doing that, believe it or not.
That would be great.
Yep.
So I would think the traffic pattern is pretty similar, Deal Road to Monmouth, if,
Again, we'll have to have our traffic team go out and they'll study it and then they'll come back with the numbers.
well, just as it's important with the school, I mean, I've said this before at meetings, because I'm right across from the park, the exit from the park, one of the main entrance and exits for the kids that live, say, on Dwight or that part of town, they often come right out in front of my house. So the other day, a little boy was on a tricycle. He couldn't have been more than 4 years old. He came zipping out of the park, and then he stopped, like at Deal Road. So I was out weeding, and I crossed the street because I got worried. I mean, he was so young. I didn't know why he was by himself. So anyway, he said, "Oh, I'm waiting for my grandfather," who was obviously walking slower than he was on the bike. But he stopped. So I said, "Well, you have to be careful. Don't try and get out in the street." But these are the, kids come out there and they come out on their bike, and often they're learning how to ride a bike. They might even be on a two-wheeler, but they're kind of stumbling, like when they're stopping to make the turn. So I think that it should be 35. It shouldn't be more than that, because people speed down Deal Road and then they have to come to a stop. They have to slow down when they get to Allenhurst or Interlaken, and then we just become part of the highway, which isn't really fair to the residents that live on these roads. So I would like to maybe get involved if there's any way I can push some paper along for you all to
No paper.
with the DEP.
Manager will, it's
the
our own township. It's our police department will make that determination. So he'll ask the traffic department to do their study, then they can go from there and use the metrics that they have and
Yeah,
see
because
what it should be.
one day I came out of my driveway, and this wasn't that long ago, and I didn't even have a chance to get my speed up yet. I was like getting out of the driveway, and I'm starting to, I usually go 35 anyway because I'm worried of deer and kids. Anyway, this guy was speeding down Deal Road so fast. He was like right up on my bumper, and I was like preparing to get hit. I was like, all right, this is going to happen. And instead, there's a part on Deal Road where you can't really see the oncoming traffic. There's a little bit of a hill. And he sped right around me to cut in front of me. Luckily, there wasn't a car in front of me. And another car came right over that hill. It was truly a matter of seconds that he would have been in head-on with a totally innocent, possibly family in a car. It was horrible. And I feel like, just like by the school, there should probably be a police officer just sitting there, waiting. We could get so much money for the town just giving out tickets. I mean, when you're in Interlaken, the minute you go over 25, you're like at 27, they pull you over and give a ticket. I mean, it's really crazy. I've gotten one for doing 27 there. So I do think it's an important next step in terms of dealing with the, increased population in our town and just trying to have a more gracious living, as we say we are the township of. So, okay, so David, you're Mr. Brown, you're handling that. All right, maybe I'll come and visit you. I haven't met you yet, so I'll come and welcome you in your
We're
new
having a
job.
welcome
Thank
dinner.
you.
Come on in.
What was that?
We're having a welcome dinner in January, what?
No, 13.
Okay, good. All right,
Museum.
thank you.
There is actually a report by a parent that almost got struck by somebody over there. And they did make a police report on that, and he was with his kids, and the car actually went into the other lane. They said they slowed down and went around him. So that parent actually talked to me and said they actually had a police officer come to the house and they actually made a report.
Great.
Now this is Wayside Road.
Yeah. Crazy drivers
And
out
when you
there.
got a parent that actually makes that a police report, there's another element.
Yep. Absolutely.
I just feel I'm being totally ignored, in my personal opinion. When I speak up for the parents, and I say, you're nothing but a daggone crossing guard. I'm saying it. And I've done it since I've been over there. I've complained about that traffic over there.
Well, Dave's got the info, pass it on to traffic, and we'll make sure that they
I
are.
don't care what kind of repercussions I get right now.
No, none, you're not getting any of
Yeah,
them.
there's no
No,
repercussions.
they actually, so many words to call you a dumbass, and so many words. And then when parents see them over there, because I asked them to come over there, they asked me, did you get anything? I told them the thing, and they claim, first they claim parents don't call, which is a lie. And then they turn around and say, there's no point. This gentleman told me he actually had a police officer come to his home to make that a report.
Oh, boy. All right, well,
Yeah, young
Dave's
kids
got
who
it,
go
and
to-
we're
You
gonna
got-
get
like
on
you say,
that.
You got
Thank you.
elementary kids over there.
Absolutely. Thank you. All right, anybody else? No, well, I wanna thank you for joining us. I wanna make a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn?
Second?
I'll second.
Deputy Mayor Napolitani.
Yes.
Council members Fisher
Yes.
and Mayor Siciliano.
Yes, meeting adjourned. Thank you all for joining us.